All right, here with Coach Bell today. Coach, first off, a disappointing into y'all season by y'all standards, but you
Sure.
still finished third in the Big 12.
Right.
Just kind of assess the season for me.
Well, as you said before, wasn't to our standards, and we expect to be playing in the NCAA tournament, and unfortunately, we're not. So we have to figure out a way to do better, be better, and get the results that we're looking for in order to be playing at this time of the year.
Whenever you look back at this season, what are some hard truths that you've had to tell yourself about this team particularly?
Well, as I always say to them or to every group, it's hard to win college soccer games, and I think that maybe sometimes we take it for granted that we just are going to go up and win and without doing all the things necessary to be successful. And so it was a big reminder, a big kick in the butt that you have to do all the little things in order to win games, and we weren't consistent enough in doing that.
Is it one of those things where you've gotten your program to such a standard that you just can't show up with the name across your chest and expect to win a game?
Yeah, yeah. I think that this group found out that we're no longer the hunters, but we are the hunted, and it's a different set of circumstances that we had to deal with. And I'm certain that next year we will be better because of it.
Last in the off season before this year, y'all were really working on chemistry
Mm-hmm.
and building team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what would be the message this off season that you're really going to try to drill in? Is it that mentality, that
Yeah,
workman
yeah.
like mentality?
It's more of a, there will be some of the chemistry as well, but mentality is probably the most important thing, and making sure that we walk onto the field, ready to go to work and get after groups and do the things necessary to win games. And so mentality will be a big part of it.
The College Cup is going on right now. Do you watch any of it as it's going?
This past weekend, I watched a little bit of it. I was on the road recruiting in Phoenix, and so Madison and I were out on the fields and trying to look for future frogs. And so sparingly, I was watching a couple of games, but not a lot. Probably
Um,
more so this weekend.
how's the recruiting trail going? Y'all brought in a pretty strong class.
Hmm.
I know there's a couple girls rated by top drawer that are some 4-star
Hmm.
prospects you're bringing in. Well, uh, of the class, what girls will be here in January?
Okay, good question. All right, so the class we're really excited about. First of all, I think it's top to bottom one of the best classes we've had, and hopefully over the next 4 years they come and that comes to fruition, right? I guess you never know. People often talk about paper tigers and being all this on paper, but then obviously you have to come here and prove that you're worthy of all these different accolades. So that's first. I think that we have what, I think 6 or 7 young ladies that will be here in the spring, and that will definitely benefit them. Getting to learn the lay of the land is from campus standpoint, but also how we do our business on the field, and getting a glimpse of what it's like to be a college soccer player. I'm certain that it will be a different for them and much faster, more physical, and they'll get used to that hopefully throughout the course of the spring, and it will be better for it come the fall and have a good idea what's to be expected of them when games matter and they count on a record.
One of the players I want to highlight is Cam Patton.
Okay.
I think that she can bring that score goaling mentality to her, y'all, where you kind of lacked this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think she has a penchant for scoring goals, and she's a smaller young lady, but she's got a lot of bite, and a lot of her mentality is fantastic. And so we can keep her healthy. I think that she's definitely going to have an immediate impact on what we're trying to do.
It's hard to compare players, but whenever I look at, a Cam Patton, it kind of reminds me of like when Seven came in.
Okay.
You talk about that workman, that mentality,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Seven's definitely got that
for sure. I
mentality.
think that you saw this year where she worked really hard and had a workmanlike effort on a pretty regular basis to be successful, and came out to be first team all conference. And so I don't want to put any pressure on the kids that are walking in the door, but um, I think they'll have a lot of them will have an opportunity to have an immediate impact on what we're trying to do, and hopefully we're better for it and get the results that we're looking for, and have an opportunity to compete for conference championships as well as make a run at the NCAA tournament.
Before we get off of 2023, I'd be remiss without bringing up you're losing two of your cornerstone pieces that you've had in place throughout this successful run these last couple of years in Gracie Bryan and Lauren Collette.
Mm-hmm.
Just what have they meant to your program?
A lot. Gracie was a 5-year warrior for us, and you know, the most competitive kid that we've had in our program. And Lauren has proven to be one of the best, if not the best, goalkeepers we've had since I've been here. And we thank them for all the things that they've been able to provide for us. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Olivia Hassler as well as being part of that group. And the three of them have contributed a great deal to our program and many wins and championship performances and playing in a lot of big games for us. And so um, we'll miss them definitely for sure.
And then just to add on one last name, she didn't make an impact on the field, but I would say she was a pretty big glue piece off the field in Summer Holt. Just what
Mm-hmm.
are you losing in her?
A lot of behind the scenes work, a lot of leadership, a person that brought levity to times when we needed it and brought a serious tone to things when we needed it as well. And for her to be able to be respected by her teammates in a way when she doesn't, play a whole lot was huge. And we're definitely going to miss her, and it'll be a big hole in our program without her being around.
Two of those players that we talked about, Gracie and Lauren, are now preparing for the NWSL draft. Just how big is that for your program to continue to have players drafted into the NWSL as that league continues to grow?
Sure, sure. Well, we've had some success with placing some players into the league, and these two are no different. And I'm certain that they'll both land on their feet on some program in the country, and hopefully have an opportunity to make the team and get a chance to play. But we want kids that want to be pros in our program, and we've got kids that are going to be pros, future pros in our program, and we continue to recruit those kids as well. And that's a big selling point as we recruit nationally. So um, wish those two the best, and I'm certain that they'll have some pretty cool careers.
Speaking of selling points from the end of, Yasmin Ryan wins another championship, goes to from Portland, wins there,
Mm-hmm.
goes to Gotham FC,
Yeah,
wins there.
yeah.
What does a player of that caliber do for your program in selling your
Well,
program to
the
recruits?
proof's in the pudding, right? I think you take a young lady from Norman, Oklahoma, and you bring her to Fort Worth, and she excels here for 4 years, and then goes off to Portland and does well, and obviously with Gotham does well as well. And very happy for her and proud of her. And to win back-to-back championships is no easy feat. And so, really happy for her and proud of her. And you look at Messiah as well, and being the finalist for Rookie of the Year, and that speaks volumes about our program as well. And so we've got a culture of cultivating and training or developing players to be pros. And so really happy about that, really proud about that, and looking forward to continuing that.
You know, um, this is kind of a new territory for y'all this time of year, not being, preparing for the round of 32 this
Mm-hmm.
weekend.
Yeah.
What have you done with your time since the season's ended?
Well, we continue to recruit. Like I said before, we went to Phoenix, and
Yeah.
now we're horsing around with the portal stuff and seeing there might be a couple of young ladies here and there that we might be able to bring in to help us get back to where we want to be. And so we're doing that and just keep planning for the future and trying to get the spring schedule sorted out and trying to finalize our roster for 24.
How has the portal changed kind of the landscape of college soccer? And now that you're not only having to recruit high schoolers at these
Mm-hmm.
showcase tournaments, these club tournaments,
Yeah.
but you've also got to go through the portal and find, pieces to bring in that
Right.
are a fit for your program.
Right. Well, for our sport specifically, it's changed in a way where, well, before, you know, the portal has changed women's soccer in a way that, before if you go on and you were looking to transfer, you had to do all the legwork, right? You had to contact all these different schools and, say I'm transferring and I'm looking at your school as a potential. If not, if it wasn't for the portal, everybody wouldn't know. And so now with the portal, everybody in the country knows that a young lady's going in, and you can contact her. And I think it gives the student athlete a larger, I guess, base to work with as far as schools that they're looking at, and also allows the schools to do their due diligence and figure out if this young lady is going to help them or not, and then pursue them or not. So, but other than that, it's the same. Um, you know, we as players, we just didn't know sometimes. You end up like, oh wow, I didn't even know she was transferring, and then she ends up at school XYZ, and it's like, oh okay, but now we know.
Yeah.
That's the only big difference.
Does it help that y'all were able to add Madison to y'all's coaching staff, and that there's just responsibility, that you don't have to handle, that you can delegate to her, and so y'all have all y'all's bases covered?
Yeah, she's been a big help in a lot of different ways, and really happy that she's part of our staff, and she's going to be a big time coach when it's all said and done, because it's really important for her to be a big time coach. And so happy to have her on the staff, and looking forward to helping her develop. But she's been a big help so far.
Whenever you bring on coaches like that, are you wanting coaches that want to, go to that next level, that they have that drive, that passion?
Yeah, I'm looking for coaches who want to be this is their career, right? And they know it, and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into being successful. And if you're not really ready to roll up your sleeves and get after it on a pretty regular basis, well, this industry or this business is going to eat you up. And so, we want to keep people that are hungry and motivated and wanting to do whatever it takes to be successful. And Madison is of that. So
We'll wrap this up with some fun. Next week is Thanksgiving.
mhm.
What's your plans for Thanksgiving?
I don't. I asked April the other day, "What are we doing?" We're gonna keep it small, and then our daughters will be back in town from school, and we'll just be the four of us having Thanksgiving dinner and call it good. So
What's your
that's
go?
it.
What's your go-to food for Thanksgiving? What's your favorite?
Go to
What's
food.
your favorite food item from?
I do like the desserts, so I'm a big sweet potato pie guy. But the usual turkey dressing, mac and cheese. Those are all staples in our house, and I'm looking forward to eating that stuff for sure.
Are you a stuffing guy or an anti-stuffing guy?
But there's a difference. There's stuffing and there's dressing, right?
Yeah.
And stuffing I think, is just okay, but I'm more of the dressing type of guy. So,
And then last, have you been in any fun concerts lately?
hmm, went to go see Chris Stapleton. When was that? Mid October, I think, or late October. And was supposed to go to a concert tonight, but I have another obligation to go to now, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. So we'll see.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.